I'm excited to make a Valentine sugar cookie bouquet with you today. So I'm going to be using my mother's recipe. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is written in my little 8-year-old printing. White sugar, S-U-G-E-R, white sugar cookies. My mom has gone over it with some of her own handwriting there to correct my spelling. I can spell sugar now, by the way. But this is the recipe that I'm going to use today. And go ahead and measure out your ingredients. The recipe is going to be found on the post. Let's get started. I'm using my giant Tupperware bowl that almost doesn't fit on the screen. And we'll put in the butter and the flour and other dry ingredients. Baking powder, baking soda, and we are going to cut in the butter into the flour. With that, we use a pastry blender that has these blades on it. It takes a little while, but it keeps cutting these pieces of butter up into smaller and smaller pieces until they're completely coated with the flour. Okay, this is getting well mixed in. You can see the texture of the butter in the flour. It's just kind of mealy, and there's not very many large pieces of butter at all. Next, we're going to mix up the eggs and then pour those in. Sugar, vanilla, and 4 tablespoons of milk. We add that to the first mixture and then stir it in till we get a dough. You could use a mixer with this if you prefer. I don't have a heavy-duty stand mixer, so I often end up doing this by hand. With all the dry ingredients mixed in, I'm going to place this in the refrigerator to chill for a couple hours before I try rolling it out. So before I bring it up and put it in the refrigerator, I'm going to form this into a couple discs. It'll make it easier to roll out once it's chilled. And I'll put some saran wrap around them and then stick them in the fridge. So there's my first one, and then a second disc. It just starts the process of rolling it out. Those are going to go into the refrigerator, and I'll see you in a bit. So I've taken one of my discs of cookie dough out of the refrigerator, and it is chilled through. Take the saran wrap off, and I'm going to sprinkle my clean, flat surface with flour so it doesn't stick. Sprinkle a little bit more on top of the dough. Sometimes I even put a piece of wax paper over it. Sprinkle a little bit on my roller. And I'm going to roll this out to a 1/2 inch thick. I start in the center and roll it outwards. Okay. So now I'm going to use my heart cookie cutters, and I have this great set that are graduated sizes. They're from Wilton, and I've got these a long time ago, but I'll try to find something similar and link it below. I'm only going to be using these smaller sizes in here because the heart cookies will get too large for what I'm going to use them for if I use the big ones. And I want to make a few more of them. So I'm going to make some larger ones like this and put them on my cookie sheet. And it's an ungreased cookie sheet. So you can see it's about a 1/2 inch thick. And here's my cookie sheet. I try to fit these on as closely as I can. I'm hoping to make a 1/2 dozen to put in a box, and then maybe try some more in a vase. Okay, so I have 6 of this size. You can see them there. They're about a 1/2 inch thick. I'm going to make some the next size smaller. Put them on another cookie sheet. But I think I'm going to cut a couple shapes here that might work for a leaf and bake those as well, just for fun, to put in the box. Just using just this leftover dough. Then I'm going to take this extra dough and we're going to roll it out again. So I'm going to pick that up and put it into another disc. It's going to, each time you roll it out, it does get drier because there's more flour in it. So the next set of cookies won't be as nice as the first, but we'll still get some fun cookies off of that. So I wanted to show you that I'm going to be putting some bamboo skewers into the bottoms of the cookies, and I'm going to do several with the bamboo skewers in the cookies, and then I'm going to do several by putting the bamboo skewers in the cookies after they bake. So I'm just going to insert it into the bottom here, and I'm going to go at least halfway through the cookie, kind of twisting as I go up. I can't bake as many cookies this way on one sheet, but it only takes about 8 minutes to bake them, so I think it'll be all right. So there's 4, and then I'm going to take these little cookies and I'm going to insert the bamboo skewers after they bake. We'll try it both ways. This is one of the reasons I made my cookies thicker, was so that the bamboo skewer would go into them and it would be thick enough. Okay, so there I have all of the sticks into the cookies. So these are going off to the oven. Well, look, the cookies have come out of the oven and they just turned out really nice. They're golden brown on the outside, and I almost did not put them far enough apart. So the sticks are very close to the cookie next to it, but it worked very well. I'm going to let these cool and then take them off the cookie sheet before we decorate them. While the cookies were in the oven, I rolled out the second disc of dough to 1/4 inch thick, and I'm afraid I got it a little bit thin there on the edge. But I'm going to cut a series of cookies this thinner size that we're going to use to sandwich on top of those cookies to make them look different. So we're going to just cut a whole bunch of different sizes and shapes and put them on the ungreased cookie sheet. So then we'll have some fun with those in decorating. I'm going to cut out some center pieces so that we have some little peekaboo holes in these top hearts, especially the larger ones. And then I can use both the small hearts and these larger kind of peekaboo hearts. I think that'll look really cute when we decorate. So I've gathered all the different shapes of cookies, the cookies on the skewers. I've made up some frosting just out of powdered sugar and a little bit of butter and a little bit of milk. And I will give you the recipe down below, but you want it to be smooth and creamy. This is not going to be the shiny, smooth frosting like the royal icing. This is just a regular buttercream type of frosting. So it's not going to be as smooth. So I'm going to take one of my cookies on the skewer and I'm going to ice it, and then I'm going to put one of these cookies on top to decorate it, and then we're probably going to add some sprinkles as well. So we're going to make sure that we do this while the icing is still soft so that the cookies will stick together. So I thought I would go with pink, and let's try a peekaboo heart on top. Yeah, that's cute. Then we're going to put a little bit of the white frosting on the top and a few sprinkles, I think. And I could have frosted this cookie before I put it on the bottom cookie, but look how cute that is. Okay, and a few sprinkles. I think I'll use this type. And I'm going to do it over this plate so that the extra sprinkles have some place to go. There we go. There's our first Valentine's Day cookie. I will put it back here on the cooling rack so that it can harden up before we do something with it in our bouquet. So let's take a second one and let's do it the opposite. We're going to do white on the bottom. And again, if you like the royal frosting and that real slick surface, there are tutorials on that, and I'm sure that you'd be able to find one online. And this time I'm going to go ahead and frost this cookie first before I put it on top of the other. And we're going to have a heart on top of a heart. And maybe some pink sugar on this one. Okay, the skewers are really working well. I'm going to do 6 cookies, so probably 3 white and 3 pink. So I kind of think of these as being roses or flowers, just in a heart shape. A lot of people make flower bouquets. They make their cookies a flower shape, and you could make other designs, animals or shamrocks, or anything you'd like. Christmas cookies, you can put them all on a stick and make a bouquet. I just thought this was perfect for Valentine's Day. My friend that made these, that I remember doing this a number of years ago, she made these peekaboo hearts, and that's what I liked the best. It's a triple decker there. Lastly, I mixed up some green, and I'm going to do these leaves, a little bit of green in with those pink flowers. Make that little line that goes down the center of the leaf, just for fun. There we go. Now I'm going to let all of these sit and harden. So let's make our cookie bouquet now. There's a couple ways that you can do this. The way that my friend did it was so fun. She got a rose box from the florist, and then this is clear plastic, it's hard to see, but then she put tissue paper in the rose box, and then she laid her cookies in the box. I'm actually going to use a piece of green tissue paper in here. I think that'll really make the pink pop out, don't you? And then she began to lay the cookies into the tissue paper as if they are flowers. Can't tell if you can see this. It's hard to get it on the camera. So she laid them down in the box. I'm going to add a couple of the cookie stem leaves as well into the box. They kind of get hidden though with that green, don't they? Isn't that cool? And then you can wrap the tissue paper around them and close your box up and give them as a gift. So the person can open their box of cookies, which is actually a cookie bouquet. So I had a lot of fun arranging the hard sugar cookies into a vase to make a bouquet like this. And each one's on a stem so it can go down into the vase. So I did take a wire cutter and cut the end of the skewers to make them shorter for certain cookies so they would be in different places and different heights in the vase. But those long skewers worked really well to do that. I put a little bit of tissue paper down in the vase, or you could use some of those glass marbles and so forth. But again, they just slide right in and out, and then you can arrange them however you would like. You could put a ribbon around the vase too if you'd like, and then just take it over to your special person's house and give it to them. I think they're going to be excited to see their bouquet, and they can eat it if they'd like, or just look at it. So I hope you've had fun learning how to make a sugar cookie bouquet for Valentine's Day. If you're looking for any more Valentine's Day ideas, come on over to Welcome to Nana's and join the fun.